Hi, my name is Lars Rönnbäck, and today I will be talking about data warehousing, but I will do so from a slightly different perspective than usual. I'm going to start by asking this question: are there aliens on the far side of the moon? And I think that most of you can answer this question with confidence and rather quickly. And that's the interesting thing here. So we're going to dissect this question and look at why you are able to do so. So first, there are some words in the question that we need to understand, because we need to understand the whole question. The first word is alien, and in this case we're referring to something extraterrestrial. The second part that could be complicated is the far side of the moon, and as it happens, the moon is rotating at exactly the correct speed for the same side of the moon to always face the Earth. So the moon has a far side that cannot be seen from Earth. So if we look at that as understanding the question, the next part is to understand the answer. And let's say that you answered no in this case. So there are a number of things that you need to trust in order to be able to answer this quickly and with confidence. So the first thing is that the moon actually has a far side, and I just showed you why that was the case, and you believe I'm credible, so you believe in this as a fact. But this is not the only thing. There are several other things that you need to trust as well. The first one is that there is no evidence at all that there are aliens. The second one is that some astronauts they have actually seen the moon with their naked eye, the far side, and they didn't see any aliens there. And we also have various unmanned satellites that have taken photographs of the far side. But if we look at each of these pieces of information that we have, you have to trust them, and in order to trust them, there are other pieces of information that you need to trust, such as those that actually claim now that they have been abducted by aliens. Of course, they must be lying, because otherwise there is evidence that aliens exist. And these astronauts, you have to trust that the Apollo program wasn't a fake. It wasn't recorded in a TV studio or anything like that. And you also believe that NASA is a credible institution. And you believe that statements that these astronauts made when they came back are credible. And these statements were made under oath. And of course, anything said under oath is always true. And to have seen these with their naked eyes, aliens can't be invisible. And if we look at those unmanned satellites, well, aliens can't have some sort of technology that make them repellent to photographs, so they have to be able to be captured on photographs. And of course, they can't be invisible again then. And you also believe that nobody has tampered with the photographs, and that the development process actually worked as it should when these photographs were developed, and that the negatives were handled correctly. And then there were the cameras within the satellites, and you believe that these were in proper working condition, and you need to trust that the lenses didn't aberrate away anything. And how does a lens work? Well, you have to trust the fact that the physics of lenses is well understood. And how do you know that this physics works? Well, then you have to trust the fact that the underlying physics that light consists of photons is true as well. So as you can see, there's a whole network of information that you need to trust in order to provide this simple answer. And it doesn't stop here, of course. Each and every single piece you see here on the screen can be taken even deeper. So this network of trust is really, really deep. So how is it then that we're actually possible to answer a question at all, like, are there aliens on the far side of the moon? Well, the good thing is that the reason you're able to do this is because you've done some evaluation of a number of sources of information, and you have taken all of these into account, and you've deliberated upon what it means, and you've formed an opinion. And often it's enough to go back to this opinion to provide a quick answer. So by doing this personal and thorough preparatory work, And the more thorough you are, the more reliable these opinions will be. So you can say with confidence and quickly that the answer to the question is no. And then you might ask, what has this got to do with data warehousing? Well, if you have a data warehousing, the situation is very similar. You have a number of sources with information. You evaluate these and you move data in a data flow. Instead of deliberating, we call it integrating data. And you form opinions within your data warehouse. So when you get a question, like how many monthly active customers have we got, it's often sufficient to go down to the data warehouse to provide a quick and confident answer. The difference here is that this is a joint effort, because you want some consistency here. You don't want different answers depending on who you ask within an organization. So it's a joint effort to do this preparatory work in this case. And since I'm saying preparatory, you might wonder, is a data warehouse a project, something that has a beginning and an end? Well, let's look at what happens if we are changing or given a new piece of information here that changes one of the things in our network of trust. Let's say that we get the information that the Apollo program was a fake. It was indeed recorded in a TV studio. What happens then is that this starts to spread within your network and invalidates several of the other pieces of information that you have. So you can no longer trust that there's been any astronauts that saw the moon with their naked eye and so on. And when this happens and enough of these pieces of information are invalidated, your network of trust will be broken and the trust is eroded. And then you won't be so sure anymore about the answer. And this is something that happens a lot within the data warehousing scenario. Information in these sources change and the structure of information change and so on. So this joint effort requires an ongoing work in order for you to have a reliable data warehouse. So it's not just a project, it's a process. And with that, I'll leave you with this question again. Are there aliens on the far side of the moon? And perhaps now that you've seen this presentation, you'll think twice about it next time. Thanks.